sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
We've already started doing that, finding a little time here and there throughout the day, but there's no question. I think that's one of the best things you can do, especially as a play caller. You know, it's one thing as the head coach, you know, whether you're on the offensive and defensive side. I think the quarterback, you know, has to be an extension of you as a head coach. And ultimately as a play caller, when we can have that, you know, connection that we have, and it'll be a weekly process, like you said, but we'll find time early in the week and then later in the week because, you know, having played the position, I didn't like when a coach called a play I didn't like.
There he is, KOC, the leader of Camp KOC. On this Feedback Friday, a couple days into his first training camp. Every Friday we make the Mackey and Judd show all about, well, action movies. We throw those out on the weekend. And your feedback via the SKOR North app. You can always hit us up on Twitter. We are almost to 8,000 TikTok followers, too, thanks to Judd's great videographer work at Vikings training camp. That Lewis Scene video has gone viral on TikTok, which is kind of cool. Just destroying a tackling dummy.
It was great, yeah.
You never know what's going to go
Likes
viral.
to blow a guy up.
So let's dive into some Vikings-related Feedback Friday questions here, starting with Sam Chase, and he chimes in on the YouTube channel, the SKOR North YouTube channel. Can we get an update on Andrew Booth Jr. ASAP? Corner is the number one obstacle for this team right now, in my opinion. So, all right, you've been out there for a couple days. What are your...
Daily. Thursday. We talked about him extensively. He looked great. First training camp practice, he picked off a pass.
Okay, sorry, Sam, you're not going to get an answer
Jefferson.
here because you didn't
He
listen
looked
to...
He looked
Thursday.
absolutely fantastic.
Sorry,
I'm going to
Sam.
tell you right now.
Yeah, Purple
I'm
Daily.
going to tell you right now. Booth went in the second round and not the first because of injury concerns, which is completely legit. He didn't take part in the spring camps because of that. But he made a diving interception of a Cousins pass. So this was 1-against-2s on Thursday in the first practice. Pass intended for Jefferson. It was a really nice play. And we also talked about, in going through Jug's training camp notes on Friday in PD, we talked about the fact that Cam Dantzler came back on Thursday and was really good too. So yeah, I think this is going to be spirited. And best case, guess what? At some point in time, Booth and Dantzler are your starting outside corners. But yeah, he looked impressive. I think if his health holds, it's going to turn out to be a good pick. He doesn't seem to have fear, which at cornerback is absolutely positively the most important thing. If you hesitate at that spot, you are going to have trouble. If you make plays, you're going to be good.
What are your current Vikings cornerback power rankings? And where does Andrew Booth Jr. fit in? I think Cam Dantzler's number one.
Okay, so I guess if you just went with the first team, it would be Peterson, just as a nod to his experience, but it could be Cam. It'd be Peterson, Dantzler, the guy that they got from the Packers.
Chandon Sullivan. Put some respect on his name.
The guy
they got for the Packers. Look, he's a temporary guy, which is absolutely fine. So he's third. Then what I've seen from Booth, he's probably fourth, right?
But Booth is better than Chandon Sullivan, right?
Well, right, but he's not with the first team, and he's not going to be. I don't think he's a slot guy. But
so they're going to have to bump. They're going to literally have to bump Patrick Peterson if they want to get Andrew Booth into games, because I don't think I think Cam Dantzler is their best cornerback.
Yeah, right. But I mean, if Peterson goes off a cliff, guess what? That's pretty simple. At some point. Now, the most important thing though for Booth is, can he stay on the field? That's the most important question. If he can, I think that's going to turn out to be a very savvy draft pick.
Who are the other guys that can play slot cornerback on this roster right now? Is it just kind of Chandon Sullivan?
Well, he's with the first team. I would have to. I don't know that I've been.
They're kind of thin at slot
corners.
at nickel
Yes.
cornerback. It seems like.
Yes, and that is a spot again, as we found out years ago. If you throw a guy in there and try and train him, it's going to not be good.
That's a Judd homework assignment here. We need you to be tracking slot cornerback pecking order next
Tomorrow's
week.
practice.
Yeah,
I will track that, and I will come back just like I did today with the full third team offensive line. I will come back with the second and third team slot corners.
I love. Oh yes, inject this.
I'll
all
come back
into
with
my
those,
veins.
and I'll give you a little bit of insight into what type of instincts I see at a position that is very difficult.
Oh,
It's a difficult position. Don't joke around about that position, guys.
Need another Captain Munnerlyn in his prime somewhere along the line here. So, okay, Colandus Drennan via the SKOR North app says, so a lot of people saying, please keep Mr. Mankato alive, or that they've just started listening to either Purple Daily or Mackie and Judd here in the last maybe year or so, and they didn't know that we were the originators of Mr. Mankato, which we are. It goes back about 9 years. We even had retroactive Mr. Mankato's dating back to, I think, Marcus McCauley in 2007.
Yep.
Maybe even further back than that. And so a lot of people saying you should keep Mr. Mankato alive, even though they don't train in Mankato anymore. And Colandus Drennan says, what if you called it the Egan Elite or the Egan Everyman is one that a couple other people
That was Royce's.
threw in. Yeah, the Egan Everyman. Someone had the TCO Performer of the Year. Be kind of
sounds like sponsored, endorsed.
I was going to say, if TCO wants to pay us,
Yeah.
they got a deal.
Exactly. It's like Burt Blyleven for 20 years referred to it as the Rawlings Gold Glove Award on the broadcast. It's like, Burt, you don't need to say Rawlings.
Yeah.
You're not
Right.
you're not getting paid to say Rawlings.
Right.
It's just the Gold Glove. Anyhow, so we'll keep talking about the Mr. Mankato. So basically it's third round picks or later, undrafted guys or otherwise non-established NFL players that weren't first or second round highly touted draft picks, and who flashes among that group during the preseason portion of the proceedings here. So I guess my question for you, it's only been a couple practices, but do you have a meaningful Mr. Mankato update at all to this point?
I don't, not yet. Sorry. I got to see more.
Okay.
Like, I've seen guys make some plays.
I mean,
but
Kellen Mond's on the list.
I need more. Yeah, but I'm not impressed so far. So, like, I need
Okay, Shania Twain.
I need to see a substantial amount of work done on those fields before I can come on this show and in good conscience give you who I believe is the lead for Mr. Mankato or whatever it's going to be called.
I know you've already
I feel
said
incapable at this point.
You've already said you don't have a meaningful update. Just for fun, I'm going to try and trigger any memories you have from practice. I'm just going to throw some names out. You tell me if you've observed anything meaningful. It's okay if you haven't.
Okay, because I've been charting a lot of like offensive line stuff so far.
Yeah, sorry, I'm coughing here. And and of course, like, you know, the first team offense and defense are new systems and everything, so there's a lot to pay attention to with the starters.
Right.
But you said Josh Sokol. He's on. I'm looking at your 10
Yep, he's on my list.
candidates. He's running with the
13.
threes right now. Okay.
Yep. Saw nothing.
Thomas Hennigan. Any updates on my guy Thomas
No,
Hennigan?
zero.
Isn't he catching punts? Okay.
He's catching
That's
punts.
an update?
Well, yeah, but it's not.
He's
an
with he's
update
like with
where I
five
can-
guys. He's
He
eligible
just
among
catches
five
punts.
guys.
Yeah, he is a candidate to catch punts, Phil.
So he's being considered to be a punt returner.
Absolutely,
Okay.
yes,
That's
absolutely.
That's
He's
an update.
He's working his craft.
Ty Chandler, the running back from North Carolina.
Yeah, I saw him take some snaps. Got good speed, but like they're not doing enough with those guys yet for me to like observe like, oh my god, that was a great run or great catch.
What about the undersized linebackers like Brian Asamoah and Zach McLeod?
Yeah, nothing so far.
No flashes yet?
No, zero.
Emir
Zero.
Smith Marset.
Good speed.
Jalen Naylor.
Yeah, he's also with your guy Hennigan catching punts.
And then Caleb Evans, the cornerback.
Yeah, I've seen nothing from him so far.
Okay.
I've
That's
seen
fair.
nothing
That's
from
fair.
him.
It's
Zero.
early. This is a process that plays out
Yes.
over the
well,
course
and keep in mind too, the practice is. I think part of the thing too here is a lot of the work that's going to be put out there that we're going to actually see is going to be like first team stuff because they are trying to train these guys in the time that they have in practice. Which to start the week, the ramp up process is not that long. They're trying to like get them into the new schemes. Mm-hmm. So my guess is that the backups, while seeing some practice time, aren't seeing as much meaningful practice time. So it's just going to take some time here. A week from now, I hopefully can come back with a solid update because keep in mind, full pad practice starts on Monday. And that's where the rubber's going to hit the road.
What about that guy who is
Very proud.
having the helmet on the stick that is trying to knock the footballs out of the running backs? That clip I posted, and actually
Yeah,
I said petition to make Judd that guy because I would love for you to be the guy who gets to throw helmets on a stick at football players. What about that guy? I want an update on that type of practice.
We need a
that
feature.
type of
We need a
drill.
feature on that. Can we get that guy on the podcast?
Yeah.
I'm going to unveil a hot take right now about that drill that bothered me greatly.
Okay.
So Phil, they put a foot and I've never seen this before. They put a helmet on the end of a stick, and then as the guy is going through those ropes, you know how they like jog through them or they like high step through them.
Yeah.
The guy takes the helmet and tries to knock the ball out, which is that.
How
that's a
hard
fine
is he
idea.
swinging this helmet? Is it
Okay.
like Myles Garrett swinging at Mason Rudolph hard, or
No. He's trying to just jab it, like jab. But here's where I grew concerned yesterday, and I'm not joking. They go both ways. So when they came back, there was a part of the drill where the guy would take the helmet and swing it a bit, and I saw some of the backs take their bare hand to try and make a fist and knock it away so
Yeah.
it wouldn't get the ball,
This
right?
seems like normally I think you panic about this
I
stuff.
don't
I'm kind of
like-
with Judd on this. This seems unnecessarily dangerous.
I don't like if it's going to be on the ball, I totally get that. But when you take your bare hand and try and knock that thing away, we've had far more freakier things than a guy breaking his hand in a drill like that. So I'm just throwing it out there, KOC. Like, I love what you're doing, and I like the fact that you got these fumble drills, but let's give some thought to the helmet on a stick drill.
I mean, I would just tease Judd for this, but I think I'm with Judd here that you're giving a lot of responsibility to some guy with a swinging, like, helmet sword thing, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I mean, what if he wants to take a
state
shot
fair
up high? I mean, if he swings that thing and gives a guy ring someone's bell, it sounds very
I
dangerous.
just don't like
to
the
me.
bare hand. I don't like a bare hand. That's what concerned me. Hands got a lot of small bones. We all know that, right?
They do. Yes, they do.
Dex, we're gonna
That's
say
the
something.
hamate bone and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Here's the
I don't like that.
That's amazing, dude.
I'm not a
For the
big fan.
audio audience, it's just a guy with a helmet on a stick, and he's just jabbing at players, running backs as they run by.
One wrong move with that hand, that something breaks. I don't like that.
Amazing. Hey, good news, by the way. I don't know if I think we both received a little box of Nutrisource goodies this week. I got one yesterday, and on
you
the
get yours?
on the YouTube channel, you can see this is my little 3-year-old Chihuahua Terrier mix, Maya, who gets very excited for her Nutrisource chicken and rice food. Nutrisource is a third-generation family-owned company operating out of Perham, Minnesota, and they're all about digestion and gut health for your dog. Consistency, okay? We want those Tootsie Roll poops, as they call them. So, yeah, how is Stella enjoying her first batch of Nutrisource treats and food there?
She absolutely loves it, and this stuff is a big hit. I'm going to tell you right now, potty time is happy time, because when she gets these treats, she is a happy dog.
Who's a good girl?
girl, Stella.
Who's a good girl? Go to NutrisourcePetFoods.com to find a retailer near you. NutrisourcePetFoods.com. Also, a shout out to those of you who are trying to make your lakeside area a little less grimy this summer, Declan.
Yeah, Aquaside can help out with that. Aquaside pellets can remove that grime, that muck, that nastiness from the bottom of your lake or your pond if you have one of those in your property. Also, these products are safe. They're registered with the EPA and DNR, so they're not just some random products that are thrown into a lake and potentially hurting wildlife, hurting anyone. No, these are safe products with the EPA and the DNR. It's a do-it-yourself product. Aquaside.com to learn more. Pick up your Aquaside pellets now. Make sure that lakeshore is nice and clean when you're enjoying your summer this year. So Aquaside.com.
Okay, let's get back to the feedback here on this Feedback Friday. Nick Lazen? Phil Mackey, you're like the Vikings version of Skip Bayless.
It's kind of
Responding to whatever my recent
that
Cousins criticism was. I do not make the I think
that's-
$6 million a year
if you're
that
making that
Skip
much,
Bayless makes.
I like a little salary adjustment.
People think that, like, when you call someone a Stephen A. Smith or a Skip Bayless, that it's an insult. And, like, those guys literally make a combined $15 million a year talking about sports. So I actually take that as a compliment. But so let's get something straight here. So you're saying me criticizing a 34-year-old quarterback that has one career playoff victory and has a 500 record is the same as Skip Bayless criticizing LeBron James for 10 years.
Yeah, that's what he
That
said.
is-
I just want to get
accurate,
that
Totally get what he
straight.
said. No, you got it right.
Well, Even I saw some people kind of like dunking on it. And honestly, he owned up to it, which I thought was impressive. Like the Max Kellerman thing yesterday with Tom Brady. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that, but like Max in 2016, it was the like 5 or 6 year anniversary. They played it on First Take yesterday of
Brady's
him saying
cooked.
in 2016 that Tom Brady is cooked. Like he's going to fall off a cliff soon. And they played the clip and he clapped it. And then Tom on Twitter even like saw the clip, quote tweeted it and was like, haha, Max, like proved you wrong, just kind of dunked on him a little bit. But like Max Kellerman, Skip Bayless, Stephen A. Smith, like these dudes know what they're doing. And they're really, really good at their job. So they're not just hot take artists and this kind of stuff. Like they are credible dudes who know what they're doing. Obviously, we're a little biased. Like Max Kellerman's a hashtag friend of the show. He's come on and talked some old school Twins and Yankee rivalry with Bill and I, which was a blast. But those guys know what they're doing. They're not just hacks doing what that the people think they are.
These guys, just a bunch of dumbasses on TV. Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't agree with many things that Skip Bayless says, but like, he gets people fired up, I guess. So, okay, Bo Bunnell via YouTube says Cousins is a really good quarterback that half the league would take in a heartbeat. Are you saying if you don't have a first ballot Hall of Famer at quarterback that you should burn it down? I think this is in response to an episode that you guys did on Purple Daily.
Oh yeah.
If that's the case, 28 of 32 teams should be burning it down every season, including the Rams last year in 2021. You guys are better than this. What did you guys talk about?
We were talking about we took the comments from Kwesi because a lot of people were talking about it, and we explained it as in why Kwesi didn't burn it down. So that's what Judd and I talked about in our comments edition last Monday. I think is what he's referring to. So that's probably I think where he's coming from.
So the first part of his statement here is, or the second part is, half the league would take Cousins in a heartbeat. And I actually disagree with that premise because you're not factoring in contract value here. So I think on one hand you can say Cousins is the 12th, 13th, or 14th best quarterback in the NFL. But when you add the context of contract and which quarterback at their current contract and current cap hit would you rather have? Mm-hmm. I just went through overthecap.com, and I'm being generous here. Like Ryan Tannehill and Patrick Mahomes are the only quarterbacks with higher cap hits than Kirk Cousins this year.
Right.
I'd rather have Cousins on a lesser cap hit than Tannehill, but I'd rather have Mahomes at $36 million than Cousins at $31 million. And I counted 19 other quarterbacks that I would rather have them with their contract over Kirk with his. So I think it's incorrect to say that, well, half the league would want Kirk Cousins. Well, would the Packers want Cousins for more money than Rodgers is owed to the cap this year? Or Russell Wilson? Kirk's cap hit is 31. Would you rather have Kirk at 31 or Russell Wilson at 24? Lamar Jackson at 23? Dak at 19? Derek Carr at 19? I think Cousins is better than Matt Ryan, but if I get Matt Ryan at 18 and I get $13 million to go spend on a couple linemen or something, like that's where money factors in. It's not just about a quarterback ranking. It's about, would you rather have Trevor Lawrence at $8 million or Kirk at 31? I'll take Lawrence, the contract, and the upside, even though Kirk is better right now, if that all makes sense. Jalen Hurts makes 2, by the way. Cousins is better than Jalen Hurts, but I would rather have Jalen Hurts plus $30 million.
Who sent that note again?
Bo.
Bo?
Bo, you sent that note to the wrong people. We were explaining what Kwesi meant. Those were Kwesi's words. Kwesi basically, in a moment of truth, philosophically talked about exactly what he meant, and we just explained it. So you're actually talking like your question is for the GM of the Vikings, not us. Like we didn't make up the topic. The quotes presented themselves, and then we attempted to explain them.
Well, but
thoroughly.
the fake media spun his
right,
quotes. Is what happened.
But the thing about his quotes that's so insightful was that's his philosophy of quarterback play. Yeah. Like you can't walk that back. His entire philosophy is based on what he said, which, by the way, I agree with completely.
Garrett Leffelman via the SKOR North app says, I'm still an avid listener of Purple Daily and do not consider myself a Cousins crusader. However, it really has become difficult to listen to the podcast lately with the amount of Kirk bashing and defending your Kirk takes. You'd be surprised how many Cousins jerseys are at Vikings home games. It would be great if you and Judd left all the beefing to the cesspool that is Twitter, or alternatively, do some more episodes providing analysis in defense of Cousins. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, you can't not talk about the starting quarterback of any team. So, like, if we were doing green and gold daily, if we were doing bear down, like, you have to talk about the quarterback is the most important player on what is considered, at least in from viewership standpoint, to be the most important sport, right or wrong. Second of all, we're supposed to defend him, like we're supposed to give the flip side. Is that what he's trying to say? Of like the Cousins?
I think here's the funny thing. I actually think we do a pretty good job of when he plays really well. We've presented all sorts of the positives of Kirk. I think what happens is not that many people and outlets, for whatever reason, in the Twin Cities sports media scene critique and point out the valid things. By the way, it's not like we're just making stuff up. I think we sort of stand out a little bit because there's not that many people look at his back of the football card stats and think, why would you ever criticize a guy that throws for 4,000 yards, 33 touchdowns, and has a smile like that? So it might come down to, if you believe strongly in Kirk Cousins and you don't like to hear criticism of the Vikings quarterback, it's just, I don't know, like, it's where I'm not going to stop being honest and giving my opinion. If this dude lights it up and takes another step and the Vikings, win a couple playoff games or something, I mean, I will happily come on this show and do whatever you guys want. The audience, we can put 4 options out for Mackey embarrassments or something, or Judd embarrassments. Like, we will absolutely own it, as we do every Wednesday on Write That Down accountability session.
If they make a playoff run, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. And my tune will change. I don't understand, like, if you're looking for us to just be positive and not give honest analysis, like, we're not the show. Like, there's plenty of outlets here that will blow sunshine about things, and that's fantastic. And when folks are gone, you'll get the truth then. But that's not what we do. So, like, I can't.
9 months later, you'll hear what really happened with Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins.
I don't know what you want. Like, we want this team to win a Super Bowl, and it feels like there's this thing where, well, yeah, but that's too much. No, it's not. Yeah. Kirk Cousins makes a ton. He should be the first guy to tell you, I should be able to win a Super Bowl.
Jeff in Arkansas via the SKOR North app says, I think you guys should have a guest listener partner with Declan on Random Viking of the Week on Purple Daily. I can't do it. I'm bad at it. But Jug's vast vault is just too much to overcome.
Declan won 4 in a row until I won
streaky.
5 in a row.
Declan wins streaky. 1 in every 3, basically, statistically.
Yeah, I think
Declan, do you feel like you need a lifeline, or we should tweak the game in some form?
No, but I'll be honest. I was salty yesterday because like Gus Farrat's up my wheelhouse, I feel like, and the fact you threw out a punter thing, which I had no idea that he was a punter, and that just immediately tipped off Judd. Yes, you did. You literally just did.
I didn't know
you
he was
got,
punter.
You got the answer.
It was the high school coach. It was the high school coach.
Punter, yeah. I had no clue, but I know that back in the day, quarterbacks would punt a lot.
Okay.
But
I was salty
Randall Cunningham once punted a ball 99 yards
at the Meadowlands.
I guess
right? Crazy.
I guess if it's like pre 2005, well, because I remember I became a Vikings fan in 2001, but I wasn't fully immersed until probably 06, 07 by the time AP got here, maybe a little before. If it's anything pre 2005, I don't feel bad about losing that one because it's all right, I'm not gonna be able to pull that one out of my hat. But if it's between the
Gus,
2007 to current, I get upset. I really get hard on myself.
Maybe we should send Declan out. Would you go to South Florida and maybe study with a Vikings
Kelsey
historian?
And nope. We got time. We got to do and spend time
Vinny
together.
Vinny boy,
Vinny is very
boy.
high maintenance. So that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
So all right, well Declan's gonna keep running into the wall here.
Declan's done pretty well.
I agree. I'm actually I was a little worried early that it would be he wins 1 in every 3.
And some of the wins, if I can pat myself on the back, I nailed Brock Lesnar and T-Jack with 1 or 2 guesses.
Correct.
Basically walk-off kind
of
first pitch walk-off type of performances. Judd, I don't think has that. So that one I can hold against Judd.
What I would say is you very rarely will just burn a guess. I think you get 3 guesses. Why don't you should just take a stab early, even if it's a 1 in 100 shot, just to have an extra little chance.
Yeah, but I'm Kirk. I like my completion percentage at a certain level, so I can't just be taking.
Here's what I want.
I can't be doing that.
I want you to start guessing before my first clue. How epic would that be if you guessed it before my first clue?
No, after your first clue, I should throw out a guess because
this player hails from such and such or played college football in the WAC, and then you just throw a name out there, even if you have no idea. You should be more aggressive, is what I'm saying here.
The analytics department chimes in from SKOR North. My research has shown that being aggressive is good.
Hey, thanks to our friends at Federated, too, for keeping the lights on at SKOR North and Purple Daily on a regular basis. They are all about helping to maximize the level of success that your business can have through risk management tools and resources. And you can tap into over 100 years of experience that they have down in Owatonna, Minnesota. They're one of us. They're based in Owatonna. And they also have partnerships with different Minnesota sports teams. So check them out at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. All right, that's a Feedback Friday here on Mackey and Judd. Our action movie this week is a 1990 classic that we'll get to called Hard to Kill with Steven Seagal. First time Declan's ever seen that movie, I think.
It's short, so don't be too hard on it.
Oh, it's great. All right, well, we'll post that here this weekend, and Judd will be at training camp this weekend, so Purple Daily is where you can go for daily Vikings training camp updates. We'll see you guys.